This is Polykill, where two men, outnumbered by their games and at war with time, undertake the quest of defeating their lengthy backlogs. Please adjust your seat and prepare your ears for the banter of your hosts, Jake and Travis.
Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to an all-new episode of the Polykill podcast. As always, we're your hosts. I'm Travis, and I'm sitting across from the now no longer full of snot, Jake.
Yeah.
Hello, Jake.
Feels good to be able to breathe through my airways.
It feels good to be able to hear you breathe through your airways.
Yeah, it was pretty rough for a few days. Took a bit of a quick dive, but also a quick recovery. It sort of overlapped longer than I had hoped. But,
yeah, I'm an average-sized man, and when I get the sniffles, the amount of snot that can come out of me is quite impressive.
It's
impressive.
Being
a larger guy, what are we talking here? A couple buckets?
Yeah, I mean, they're smaller buckets, but they are buckets. So
Indeed.
They count as buckets.
Well, glad you're feeling better. Glad you're here for the show. And that's why we are a day late and $1 short here.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little sick on the side, and then scheduling conflicts. But we're here.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody really cares.
No,
but we're day late.
No one's clamored.
No one's been aching.
It's fine.
Deep down for it. So anyway, we're here. And again, if you're new to the show, this is kind of what we do. We just banter back and forth, talk about the games we're playing, the games I'm beating, the games Jake wishes he could beat, and a little discuss at the end to tie it all together. And we try to be fun doing it. The only thing else that we put out is I dropped a pickup video.
Yeah, you did.
A little 15-minute long look what I got video there. And that was fun. That was fine. It's fine video. It's okay.
It's good.
You know, maybe not my best work, but you got some stuff in there.
It's good.
And that's what that was all about. So, all right. So let's just move on into recent pickups and on the radar. Pickups for me, add into that NES collection.
Yeah.
Now, this was sort of my final...
Hoorah.
I was going to say hoo-ha, but that's a different thing, isn't it?
From my understanding, yes.
Yeah, this is my last hoorah. I'm going to be spending money on something else for about 18 years.
Yeah, you are.
And that's what they tell me. So I decided, maybe a month before, do a little bit more for me, get a little me in. And I blew a load. I did that in March, but I blew some money on, actually, is that the right math? Yeah, it would be. It was March, I guess. Fire and Ice and Contra Force on the NES, two big hitters in terms of value.
Nice.
Now, I really like Fire and Ice. It sort of has a personal thing for me because my dad, shortly before he passed away, I made him a Retro Pi. And this was one of the games I put on it because it had my dad's name written all over it.
Okay.
Not in Sharpie or anything. It just was this is definitely a dad game. Excuse me. And he liked it quite a bit, and I had fond memories of us kind of sitting there and playing through some of the levels, and I never actually had it in my collection because it is a little more pricey, and so picking that up and adding it had some meaning to it, and as I'm about to become a father, it kind of had that special connection, or connection, if you will, and so that's why I got it. And then I also picked up Contra Force because it's Contra, it's a bad version, but it's a Contra game, and why not do that?
Oh, I gotcha.
Why not do that? So that's what I've added, a couple NES games to the old collection there.
Very cool. I have added I guess you would say a few Switch games. I'm not really going to list them out here. I do have a bit of a pickup video in the making. I've been trying to make it for a while, but just the gosh darn sickness and the gosh darn schoolwork have just kept me from doing anything that I really want to do.
Yeah, it's got you swearing, it sounds like.
A bit.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, it's just all this freaking heck, man.
It's a bunch of butt, I tell you.
Yeah, it is some prime butt. But no, I did manage to pick up a game, mainly for two reasons. One, I really wanted it, and the other reason is I'm going to be on the Cartridge Club podcast about it, the Prime version, which is Red Dead Redemption or Red Dead Redemption 2.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So I picked that up, and we'll discuss that a little bit later in the show because I have been doing a little time in her.
Wow. The hoo-ha even.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, that's really about it as far as pickups. I haven't really bought much more. I did download that old sweet Fallout 76 beta. I hate the beta schedule. It's just ass.
Did yours delete itself? I hear that's a thing that's
Did
going on.
not.
Well, that's great.
But it's just got these really narrow windows of playtime. It's like the beta will be open from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Tuesday. And then, it'll be open from from 2 to 11 on a Thursday. And it's just...
What is this, a farmer's market?
Yeah, it's very strange. It's like one of those hippie shops that are in a flea market where they just come in when they want to. And I think I understand the reasoning behind it, which is that they just are trying to force people in there at once to try to see how many...
They want to break it.
Yeah, how many people will it take to break? But it's just a little frustrating.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Do you have more you're going to add about that a little bit later?
Oh, well, yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Well, you did play that there beta, and of course that game drops in full form there November 14th.
It do.
On Xbox One, PS4, and PC, I think?
Yeah, it'll be on the PC.
All right. Well, I'm excited to hear a little bit more about your experiences with that and with Red Dead.
Yeah.
So what happened last time, though?
Let's check it out.
Previously on Polykill. Previously on Polykill. Trav goes on an adventure to a crappy Comic-Con while Jake doesn't beat any games and instead dives headfirst into another monster RPG he has no chance of ever completing. Trav knocks out a few games and begs for more postal workers to listen to the show. Creepy internet stories involving video games serves as the topic of this year.
And we're back. All right, let's talk about some of the games that we've knocked off that old nasty gaming backlog of ours, that festering old, stinky old, nobody wants to touch that thing.
Nobody wants to touch it.
That old backlog.
That's why I'm not.
Yeah, I know.
Clearly.
Yeah, you should just clean it.
I should.
You should just
scrub the whole thing.
Do it. And that actually connects to a question we have later in the show.
It does.
All right. So, for me, well, let's just get this out of the way. Did you beat any games, Jake?
I didn't beat any games.
You were a little sick.
A little sick. Like I said, school has been just brutal. For those of you who don't know, I'm taking 9 credits. It's 3/4 time, plus working full time. Been sick. I just haven't had time to do jack squit. Yeah. So.
Well, I'm sure Jack Squit misses you.
I'm sure he does.
I want you to do him. Okay. Well, for me, I beat a fighting game to round out the 5 I needed for the year.
So that completes that then?
That completes that resolution.
I thought it was 6.
No, man. Why 6?
I mean, 6 is a more, round number.
It's even. It's not rounder than 5. 5's pretty round.
It is pretty round.
You could do a lot with 5s. 6 is weird
true.
number. Weird number. But no, it was 5. And so I did that. Fatal Fury, King of Fighters. I have a compendium, like a volume 1 of Fatal Fury games on the PS2. And was just kind of curious, popped it in, played it on the PVM, which is just, it's always 6,
Sure.
It's always so good. So
compelling.
colorful and compressed and nice. And I just couldn't put it down. And I am ass at it like I am every other fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to say, that final boss in that game, I don't remember the guy's name. But what an asshole. I don't know if anybody out there played this and knows this, and they're nodding with me.
I'm sure
maybe.
there's someone.
But God damn, I mean, I hate to say goddamn on a podcast, but it makes me. It was so frustrating. I was wearing a sweatshirt at one point, and I sweat through it. I spiked it on the ground and kept going. I was glistening with hot magma. I was so mad, but I finally did beat that guy and got the credits on that one.
Sweet credits. Okay, now was it just a single playthrough with one character?
Yeah.
You got
well,
credits?
no, actually, it was a single playthrough. There's 3 characters you can choose from.
Okay,
and,
but does it rotate, or do you just?
Well, you can die and then switch characters.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So I used a multitude because they have different strengths and weaknesses. So
right. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely died a lot. I'll say that. Switched to characters quite a bit. But there is kind of a gimmick at the end that I learned. You can kind of spam something and kind of beat this guy, and that's kind of what I had to end up doing. Didn't feel great doing it, but that's what you got to do.
That's a win. Yeah.
Another one that I played and beat was with my buddy Josh. He came up, and one thing that Josh and I love to do was play some classic old hard-ass NES platformers.
Right,
it's
because
kind of our thing.
Kind
of our thing. And we other ones that we played, I'm trying to think. None come to mind, but we have done some. We've beaten some, just to say. But Kickmaster, it's a Taito. You say Taito, I say Taito Potato.
Yeah.
NES game, one of the more valuable ones, and I've decided that I need to start beating some of these expensive games that I own.
Sure.
Especially ones that maybe I pay a little bit for. I feel like I get some of the value if I get the credits on it. It's not just sitting on the shelf. If I paid $60 for a game that's just going to sit there, it means more to me if I can say I beat that game. Then it doesn't feel like I lost any money on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was trying to get my money's worth out of it.
Sure.
So we played through it. It's actually a lot of fun. It's like a typical action platformer. It's got some RPG elements. So you run around on these platforms and you kill guys and they burst into either XP or magic.
Ooh.
And you got to try to jump and get it. And you want to, at first, you want to get as much XP as possible. Each level, you get like a new attack. Toward the end of the game, though, you want to use that magic.
Use that sweet magic.
You want to get that sweet magic there at the end of the game. But it's really fun. I really enjoyed that game quite a bit. So, and it's not popular. I don't ever hear people talking about Kickmaster.
I've never heard of it.
Right?
It sounds like a movie from the 80s.
Jackie Chan's probably in it.
No, I would say JCVD, though.
Because of its generic naming.
Right.
Like
Lionheart or Kickboxer or Bloodsport, you know.
And if it were Jackie Chan, it would be Jackie Chan's Kickmaster. They'd put his name on it.
Right. Or it would be, yeah. Master of the Kicks or something.
Bad translation. Well, it's a good game. I can endorse it. Go play it.
I like it.
Another one, game that Josh and you beat it in like a day.
I did.
But Josh and I had labored over this game for like 5 years.
Right.
Every time he came over, we'd wake up hungover, and then we'd play like a little bit of it.
And then you'd forget how to play it. Because
exactly.
there's a lot. Kind of a lot to it.
Yeah, it builds. It definitely builds. And but it's so fun. It's so damn fun. I love it.
It's so charming.
Have I said the name of it yet? It's Bit Trip Runner 2.
I think people figured it out, but yeah, Bit Trip Runner 2.
Bit Trip Runner 2. You're tripping and running.
Yeah.
And it's sort of a
it's a musical.
Yeah. And you kind of do things on beats.
Right.
And
that's the part that I love about it is yes, you do have to time these things right, but if you just let the music flow, you can just kind of just hit these things, and it's so smooth.
I know, man.
And I love it.
Yeah, if you're having some issues, just sort of relax and take in the beat of it.
Yeah.
And you can sort of put it together.
Right.
But it's a lot of fun. It's so addictive. And I'm excited, Runner 3 is out.
Right.
And I think, what is it, $20 maybe digital? It's digital only, yeah?
No, it's Fizz.
It's Fizz.
Because that's one of the Switch games that I just ordered.
Get out.
Because it's normally $30 to $40 physical. Okay. But Gamefly, who I've been trying to sell you on for a little bit on buying Switch games from them,
sure,
they had it for $17. So well under GVN value, and it includes like when they ship out games as rentals, they never put in or they never send the download codes or any manuals or anything. So like there's no chance of those getting redeemed or lost by a customer. So like when you buy it from them, it includes all that.
You get all that. And it's all in good condition.
It's all in great condition.
That's good news.
Yeah.
Now you did show me the site with the list of prices, and I was. I thought they looked good.
Yeah, I
wasn't ready to pull a trigger or anything, but I was like, wow, I will be buying from here.
The first party titles are usually $38, $39 rather than the normal $60. So
it's good.
That's a win. Yeah.
And these being cartridge games, they're less likely to have any damage like a disc game would. So that's really good news. All right, and then lastly, I'll close it out here with some Kirby Star Allies.
Oh, there you go. Now, this is the one you didn't like last time because you couldn't keep track of your little self.
Well, and that is true. And the thing about Kirby games, now I know they're supposed to be easy. It's a pillowcase full of farts. It's for kids.
Right.
But there's something about those games that it's just missing because I think the concept of Kirby is so neat. Like you can float around, you can absorb the powers of your enemies, and in this game you can recruit the enemies to be on your side and fight for you. And that's just really neat, but for some reason it just wears so thin so fast.
That's sad.
Like I just want a little bit more, and I know you can like crank up the difficulty, but I don't think that really helps it any.
Probably
I think it's just missing something. It's like Kirby is just their, I don't know. There's a team that they give that to that's coming up the ranks, and they're like, let them make the Kirby game, and then after they make that, they can graduate to making I don't know something else.
Yeah.
The Yoshi games that are full of yarn and cardboard. So I don't know, but anyway,
right.
They could be better.
Okay,
but I can't be here just harking on a Kirby game.
Right, and that's just hateful.
I mean, it's like it's not made for me.
Right,
it's ridiculous. It's like saying like I don't like anything that Fisher Price has put out lately. But I don't know. I just think it could be better. That's all I'm saying.
I got you.
All right, so.
Yeah.
Since you didn't beat any games, let's see what everybody else beat.
Yeah, we got a couple of Polykillers here.
We got some big old honkers. And of course, these guys, they put in the work for a good cause.
They did.
For Extra Life charity stream. And so I'll get started with the first one here. Troy at Canadian Retro beat some arcade games during a marathon for an Extra Life charity, including Asterix Arcade, Soul Divide. I think I said that right. I think it's the whole game. No, the whole game is Soul Divide, The Sword of Darkness.
Okay.
Smash TV Arcade. A lot of arcade games here. Shock Trooper Second Squad Arcade. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker Arcade. Metal Slug Arcade. Cheeky Cheeky Boys Arcade. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. Not arcade. TMNT Arcade, Simpsons Arcade, an unknown game. He didn't put the thing in, but I wanted to recognize it for the number, but I don't know what the game it was. Okay. Deception 3 Dark Delusion, X-Men Arcade, and Bucky O'Hare Arcade. So Troy will be auctioning off his now useless arthritic thumbs for next year's charity.
Wow, yeah.
Because there's a lot of games to beat.
That's a lot of games.
But congrats, I'm sure that was a great marathon.
Way
Hopefully
to
you raised a lot of money. And it's And there it is, big old horns.
Yeah.
All right. And then he had a buddy. What did the buddy do?
James at RetroPixel was there to help by beating a few games in the same charity, including a few alongside Troy. James' beats were Asterix Arcade, Smash TV Arcade, Shock Trooper Second Squad Arcade, Michael Jackson's Moonwalker Arcade, and Metal Slug Arcade, and Fit of Fighting.
Yeah, and I thought that was a typo at first. I was like, oh, he clearly meant to say Fist of Fighting.
Or
but then I Googled
Fight
it.
of Fighting.
But, well, maybe. But then I gave it the goog.
Yeah,
I Googled it.
Joog.
It's Fit of Fighting. I don't know what I don't know.
It's interesting.
Yeah, is it like you just learn some typo, doing some crunches?
I don't know.
Trying to get fit to fight? I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know why you do that on a stream. Maybe that's a better reason to do it on a stream.
To take your shirt off and just show everybody.
Show everyone
how good you are at sit-ups while you play arcade games. I mean, that's not a bad idea. You should do it.
I shouldn't.
All right. Well, congrats to those two guys for beating lots of games. And I think I will say that was 15 games. I want to say that is a new record.
I think so.
I think it's a new record. Now we know it's a lot of arcade games,
right? But it's still games.
It is certainly. We've never put in a rule or anything that said what they can and can't be. I only say it has to be a full game, not an episode.
Right.
You have to get the full game in there. And you just have to show us a picture.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Show us a picture.
Just show us that picture.
Show us a picture, honey.
Yeah. None of it's just words. Shit. You gotta have full picture. And so he did that. So the win's a win.
Yeah,
so
there
congrats.
you go.
New record holder.
Huzzah.
And for a good call. So that's great.
Awesome.
All right. So if you want to
hold some records.
If you want to scare off all the hoo-ha in your life, Caltech is making robots and shit. We're starting to, and we say we here. This is written from him. I will say that.
Right, yeah.
We don't work for Caltech. But Caltech
kinda,
says, we're starting to specialize in autonomous systems for agricultural problems. Some projects we've worked on in the past, including assisting Virginia Tech in an international robotics competition in Abu Dhabi, consulting on an emergency medical services software communication system used in emerging countries. That's a mouthful. And also helping Travis beat Double Dragon 2. That is very true.
Nice.
Drop Caltech a line at info@calton.tech if you're interested in working together or curious to learn more. No project is too big or small.
Oh, yeah.
That is info@cowden.tech, and go check out calton.tech. There's a website there. You can look at it.
You sure can.
All right.
Okay.
Well, if you like what you're hearing so far, you can find everything we do on polykill.com when it's updated. I sometimes update it.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I'll occasionally get in there and I'll put the stuff on there.
That's cool.
You can search Polykill Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube to find us there. Reach out to us on the forums at cartridgeclub.org, where the game of the month, as Jake alluded to earlier, will be Red Dead Redemption 2, finally playing a new game.
Yeah, it's
brand
exciting.
New hot game.
Hot.
So if you've not played with the Cartridge Club yet, we know a lot of you are probably playing that game. Now would be the time. Get in on that ground floor of the Cartridge Club, join the forums, talk to people, and then listen to the monthly podcast at the end of the month that Jake will, of course, be on. Cartridge Club Portable Game of the Month, God of War, Ghost of Sparta on the PSP or the PS3 if you're anti-portable.
Right.
Drop us a line, ask us a question, share any idea you have at polykillpodcast@gmail.com, rate us on iTunes or whatever service you use, and that takes us into this episode's ground game target. Now,
Okay, who's the target? Now, we've targeted grocers. We've targeted the mail persons.
Yes, and I got to say, we even, the marketing strategy is working. We got a tweet from a mail carrier that said he had seen, of course, I always tweet a testimonial from one of the target people saying how much they enjoy being, because they do. Yeah. And
these are all true facts.
Very true. Yes. And he said, well, wow, I need to get in on this if my fellow postal carriers are taking a dive on this. Maybe I don't want to be left out.
Right.
And that's when I knew right there. I was like, this strategy is working flawless.
Hands down.
This is exactly what I wanted. But now it's like the place is a little bit lousy with mail carriers. I mean, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm thinking a better way maybe. And mail carriers, please stay.
Yeah,
please stick around.
We're just going to add some
When
diversity.
I say it's lousy with you, I mean it's great having all of you here.
Right.
But I think real effective would be the game shop owners, the game store owners.
Boy, howdy.
A GameStop employee. Now, they're eager to talk to you. You walk into a GameStop, what do? They hound you.
Yeah.
Sir,
you want to pre-order something?
Sir,
you want to buy a toy?
Were you interested in anything? And they think you're stupid.
Right.
Have you heard of games, sir?
Do you know Xbox, ma'am?
Anything else on the Nintendo Switch you're looking for? They got games for it, like, constantly.
All the time.
You can be like, hey, slow down there, Hoss. I know my games. Let me ask you, what do you know about podcasts? Flip the tables.
Yeah, turn those tables.
Best Buy employees are the worst. They'll badger the shit out of you.
They will. Can I help you find anything?
Can I help you with a podcast, sir?
Did you find everything you needed?
Yeah, have you found the podcast you needed, sir?
Right.
And then they'll let them know about.
Which quick segue here. Don't you love it when you go to the grocery store or any store and you're checking out and the person says, "Did you find everything you're looking for?"
Right. Like I wouldn't just be here done. I'd still
It's
be
like,
looking.
No,
I'd still be
out there looking. I promise.
Yeah, I would have asked.
I mean, maybe I've given up and just decided to check out. And maybe that's the point of the question.
You always wonder if there's anybody at that moment that's like, come to think of it, shredded cheese. Do you guys even have it? I mean, I was looking and then I gave up.
The cow's milk. Do you have cow's milk?
Do you have cow's milk from the teat of a bovine?
Right.
Do you?
Okay. Do you have any bovine lactation juice? Yeah. Anyway, back to the GameStop employees.
Please, and let them know. GameStop employees, game store owners, anybody that works there, turn the tables on them when they start asking you. Ask them if they know about Polykill, because I mean that's our target market.
And you know what would work even better in that strategy if you were wearing a Polykill shirt.
I know, I think so. And then maybe you took a picture of yourself talking to them and then posted it, and then it went viral. And then suddenly Jake and I are on tour.
Yeah,
selling
out arenas.
Oh man. Small arenas, but arenas.
Wait, did I say arenas? I mean arenas.
Selling out arenas. Oh, indeed.
Hey.
That's not too different.
It's the same.
All right, restocking the log or foreplay.
Yeah.
This used to be a whole number of segments.
Boy, this was like 8 different sections.
We used to sing it. Now we're just here.
Now we're just like, fuck it.
I've been talking for a while, Jake. I'm going to let you take over because you've actually been playing some games.
I've been playing a lot of games. Well, I've been playing games a lot. I'll put it that way.
That's fair.
Not a lot, like I said, but because life has been hectic and crazy. But what I have been playing is I did manage to play some more Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Now, this is that RPG that I started for no good reason, rather. I mean, I just decided this looks fun. I want to play it. It's very
a good enough reason.
It's good enough reason. It's not like I don't have RPGs to play. I just wanted to play this one. It's very colorful. It's very big. It's very bright. There's a lot of JRPG tropes. There's a lot of squeamishly awkward moments that would put Titus's laugh in Final Fantasy X to shame. But it's just so charming, and I can't really stop playing it for some reason.
Are you in like JRPG forums? I didn't even get that joke.
Well, we'll Google it after the show. And
all right.
But it's super addictive. I mean, one of the big complaints about the game, and I think I may have expressed it last time I talked about it, was the combat, because for the most part, the combat's passive. You just pick a target, walk up to it, your character starts automatically attacking, and when you do that, it builds up like progress bars toward other attacks that you can incorporate. And I, for one, really like this. I think it works great because, one, it kind of lets you, strategically plan when to do these big attacks. And you can kind of think about it and position yourself, because a lot of it is based on positioning. Like, you can buff certain attacks to be more effective from the side or from the rear. So you can kind of just get your character in place for that. And also, just as a handheld, it's pretty nice not to just be sitting there slamming buttons. You can just kind of just hold it and they fight. And then you can just press a button when you're ready to engage. I don't know. I find it kind of relaxing to play, actually. The world is pretty cool. Basically all that's left in this universe is that people that are living on these giant titans' backs. So like when you're walking around in the world, you can look up and see the giant titan's head just moving around and looking around and stuff. So a really cool sense of scale of the game. I am officially 10 hours into it, which is about 1/10 of the way through the game.
How does that make you feel?
Not too bad.
Like a small boy in a big world?
It does. It's not too bad. But I really do have a good time with this. And there's a lot of systems, and I think for the most part you can ignore most of them if you want to. But there's a lot there if you want to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's accessible.
I think so. Like, I had no problem picking it up. Like, the only gripes that I have about the game is there's some navigational issues. It's just sometimes it's hard to figure out where, like, you might have a marker on the map that says this is where you need to go, or this is where you should, this is the area you should be in, but there's no great direction on how to get there sometimes.
Which maybe is kind of fun for an exploration standpoint.
It can be, but it can also be a little like, okay.
Is the game fun to explore at least?
It is. Okay. You can get yourself into a mess of trouble, which kind of segues into my second complaint about the game. Because they will have, the enemies are not scaled. So like, you can be walking through a field and like, say like right now, most of my party is like level 15, and you can be walking through a field and there's like a level 6 thing, a level 8 thing, a level 12 thing. And then you just like turn a corner and there's like a level 90 thing.
Wow.
And like it just sees you and goes, and you're all dead.
I like that though.
I mean, it can be tough because like you don't. You're not even prepared for it. It's like I'm kind of the badass around here. You're around the corner and there's like 3 level 30 things and a level 90 thing, and you're like, well, fuck.
Yeah, I don't like it when I play a game for a really long time and then the things that were tough for me to beat in the beginning are still the same.
I
tough.
get
You know what I mean?
I totally get that. It's just the proximity issue that I have.
Okay. Yeah, just how close
those things can be, because you can literally walk in a field and on the left, like no dividing, just like on the left there's level 30 things and on the right there's level 6 things. So like that's kind of difficult sometimes.
Right.
Because you have to be careful. You can't catch something's eye. But that's also, I guess, kind of realistic.
It makes sense. I mean, butterflies and tigers live in the same area.
Yeah, exactly. But overall, I really do like the game, and I understand people's complaints with it. I do, because it's super cheesy, but I don't know, I'm kind of enjoying that
like
escapism.
The Japanese cheese?
Oh, man.
Jappa cheesy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
New term coined here.
It's a new term, man.
New term there, mate.
Yeah.
New term coined here, Jappa
Right.
cheesy.
Jappa
Now, we
cheesy.
might lose subscribers for that one.
We might.
but it does, I mean, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
It's sort of that over-the-top...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But like the presentation
hard to
stuff
explain,
is what I enjoy. Like it's just this overwrought, these overwrought characters, and this, little moments feel absolutely, magnificent because everything's kind of overblown. But then there's some like really awkward laughing and facial animations with like, icons on their face that show how they feel and stuff. And super cheesy, but man, I love it. I don't know why.
I like that stuff too.
Yeah.
Because it's just so different from anything that I typically ingest.
Very escapist.
Through American culture, especially.
Yeah,
playing
definitely.
like even reading like some manga or playing very... or games that are very popular in Japan that are occasionally ported over here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I played like the Mystical Ninja game on N64
Right.
comes to mind, where
Right.
it's culturally very Japanese, and I think that's really cool.
Right.
And it's goofy, but it's like they mean for it to be goofy. Like,
Right.
me making fun of it is not hateful. It's like,
Yeah.
this is just
They
this
probably
is fucking crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's, I think, intrinsic in their design for a lot of that stuff.
Sure thing.
Yeah. So what you been playing? I got a few more things, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Yeah. You got some things.
Let me just get my 2 out of the way, because I think your 2 things are maybe more interesting. So one thing that I haven't played it yet, but because I just finished Kirby really in the wee hours of the morning. I got back from a trip and crashed on a neighbor's or a friend's futon and just whipped out Kirby, beat that final boss.
Nice.
Which is probably the most fun part of the game.
Okay.
It was actually like kind of fun. And now I'm going to move on to a game that you actually bought me. You bought me I guess it was a limited collector's edition version, maybe, of Shantae.
Did I buy this for you?
You brought it into my house.
I thought you traded Frankie something for it.
Oh, I did. But
Yeah.
you brought it to me,
But
so
I
I
brought it to you.
associated it with you. Yeah.
Let's give credit where due.
Yes. Thank you, Frankie, and thank you, Jake, for Shantae in the Half GD Hero.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be playing that next.
No, you haven't even popped it in yet, have you?
I haven't even taken the cellophane off her,
Okay.
but I will get it stripped down and in.
Yeah,
soon.
you will.
I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, I'm excited to play it. I've heard a lot of good things, and even just reading the back of the box, it looks like right up my alley.
It's
so.
super fun. Like, now I haven't finished Half Genie Hero, but I did play Pirate's Curse, and I loved it. So this looks to just be like more of the same.
So which came first?
I really couldn't tell you. There's a lot. Well, there's 3 or 4, and
Are there some on the Game Boy Advance?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I actually have one of those.
Okay.
I don't know which one, but
Nice.
But yeah, so this will be my first time embarking on the Shantae series, and I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
I think it'll open up a nice series for you. I think you'll want to play most of them.
Sweet.
Yeah, they're super.
The other thing I've been playing is Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah?
Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
The neighborhood-friendly Spider-Man game on the PS4.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah, and this is one that I beat, that I lent to Briz, and he beat, and then now it's passed on to you.
Yes. And it is so good.
Yeah.
It's such a video game. It's like a perfect combination of a lot of really set-in-stone video game tropes and mechanics. Like, it's like the best of an Assassin's Creed game. It is the best of a Far Cry, well, I guess you could say Far Cry.
Yeah, just
Far
the
Cry
Ubisoft
series.
formula is kind of there, right?
It really is there. It
Yeah.
really is there. And then, of course, Batman, you can
Right.
definitely see a lot of that combat in there. and tons of others. And it's just so good. It's so fluid.
And the traversal just ties it all together.
Oh, it's so good. You'd never get hung up on stupid shit. You do pretty much exactly what you want to at all times. There's been a few times I've been in like combat or something and I've panicked and it's been on me,
right.
but I've not done the right thing. But I mean, just moving around that city, it's so nice. And you only get, like, it starts out pretty good, but then you can get perks to make it like somehow better.
Right.
Like now I'm faster, now I'm zooming fast, now I'm launching myself faster. And it's so good.
The launching, the rolling, the flipping, all that. Yeah, it's just so good.
It's only getting better to the point that I actually had to stop and think, because I am very rarely on the ground in the game.
Oh, yeah.
And having been there a few times, there's so much detail.
A lot of detail.
That I've been forcing myself lately to just go for walks because the city is so pretty.
It is.
Like even everything to like stickers for like punk rock bands on light posts, and like you can peer inside. And there's some repetition. I mean, it's algorithmic, but you can peer inside some of the businesses and see stuff going on, and it's just very alive. Now, you can't interact with a lot of it. You can talk to the people, and you can occasionally, you can pick up a trash can if you wanted to. Some of that stuff comes in comes more into play when you're in combat.
Right.
But there's a lot to see down there. It's really cool. And I was telling somebody, maybe it was you or it might have been you and Brian at lunch one day. That
I think it was.
I spent a very short time in New York City about 10 years ago. I went to a conference there, and it was a big deal to me to be in New York City. I was this little bumpkin college kid, never been to the big city before. Oh my goodness gracious! And I stayed in this really kind of crummy hotel, which I'm assuming they're all crummy. I don't think I just picked a crummy one, but
it's like saying I got why do I always get the shopping cart with the busted wheel? I'm like, honey, they all got busted wheels.
They all bad. They cloned that one with a busted wheel a billion times. And because it was such a big deal to me, and I got to like explore the city, I became really familiar with that area I stayed in. And so as soon as I got the game and kind of got my bearings, I tried to go straight to that spot, and it looks very similar. That's
impressive.
Yeah, I think the blocks are scaled down maybe a third. Like everything's a little bit smaller, obviously.
Sure, yeah.
But I mean, a lot of the architecture was very similar. I could almost smell homeless piss.
Oh, nice!
Like it captured the essence of the area so well, and I just think that kind of thing is really impressive. Now, obviously, they replaced a lot of things with Spider-Man facilities, so to speak. Shea Stadium's not there. You got the Black Panther Tower and the Oscorp and whatever else they have. But it's so good as a city. It's like maybe the best gaming, not map per se in terms of like where things are situated, because it is mimicking New York, but like gaming environment that I've ever been in. It feels very rich.
I agree.
Dense.
Yeah, like it's open, but I think just due to the traversal, it never feels daunting. And also it's just so fun kind of taking those dives or maybe going upward, where it's like you're way up high and it's quiet and you can see airplanes and see the river, and then you just dive and it's just all this chaos and car chases and people blowing horns and walking on the street, and then you just swing up and it's just quiet again and you just keep going back down. There's something to that dynamic that I find very attractive.
Yeah, and I even like there are these little missions you get eventually through, I guess, Oscorp, where there are a lot of environmental kind of missions.
Right.
And I thought some of the ones where you have to sort of swing through the smog, I kind of wish the smog was there more, because it made it look more realistic.
Yeah, like that's one thing I was like,
because it's a very
some
clean
of the
city.
Situational environmental stuff that I wish was a little more ever present.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I really, really like it. And that's not even me. I didn't even touch on the story at all. The stories are great so far, too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know you guys did the Cartridge Club Extra podcast about Spider-Man. I've been holding off from that, obviously, until I finish the game.
Sure.
I'm sure I've harped on a lot of the same things you guys have, but that is out there for people if they do want to listen to it.
Yeah.
And I'll be excited to get to that as well. So, Spider-Man.
All right. So I'll talk about, I mentioned at the top, I got finally some time to play the Fallout 76 beta, as they say across the pond.
Do they say it like that?
They say beta.
Do they really?
They do.
My goodness.
But what I'll say about it is, one is it basically feels like Fallout 4. So in turn, it feels like Fallout 3. There's not a whole lot of evolution in terms of the way it feels, or even really the way it looks. I think it's, I know it's a beta, it's early. I don't know how much of the art assets are considered final, but at times it does look pretty good. Like as soon as you get out of the Vault 76 and you just kind of look out over the mountains of West Virginia, and it's kind of autumnal colored, and you got those nice God rays coming down through the trees. It does look pretty good.
Does it blast a lot of John Denver?
It does not. There's no Denver being blasted.
That sucks.
I mean, yeah, it does suck. But what I'll say about it is there's a couple of things that I really did find intriguing. One is just that I've been to a lot of these places.
Isn't that cool, though?
That's cool.
It's kind of like what I was just talking about. Like,
yeah,
it's so cool.
Exactly. It's like, they're like, listen, you got to get Flatwoods, and then from there you got to go down to Morgantown.
And you've been to some churches in Flatwoods, I bet.
have.
Did you handle a snake?
I did not. Did not do that.
I don't want to malign those sweet people of Flatwoods, but they're snake handlers, I know.
Oh, you know it. But like, it's just interesting kind of being there and just like hearing them constantly talk about it. And one of my favorite things is they call it Appalachia. They do not.
That is so good.
They do. They don't call it Appalachia. And I'm like, bless you.
Can I segue for a second?
Sure.
I went to a film festival this weekend where they talked about guys that were trying to get the record on the Pacific Coast Trail. Okay, that's the one that goes from Washington through California, basically connects Canada to Mexico.
I know where this is going.
And this guy has set a record on the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah.
But he's like, yeah, I hold a couple records on the Appalachian Trail.
What the fuck?
I mean, you can't hike the whole goddamn thing and not know how to say it right.
Yeah, that's wired.
I'm sure it's more important to, like, us folk.
Sure.
Right? There's a region of people that are really into that because there are towns and highways that are named with the exact same spelling pronounced the way I'm pronouncing it.
Yes.
You can't just go off somewhere and start pronouncing it.
You can't just make this shit
and expect me not to want to strangle you to death.
Right.
If I could catch you. He's very fast.
He's very fit.
He's very fit, man. But I just wanted to point that out. So that is great. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, like I was really shocked to hear that. Yeah, they've done their homework. And like there's a couple of cool like encounters. First of all, like it does feel pretty dead. Which it's supposed to. So that feels right, but it also feels, populous enough. I think the trees and the woods should be a little more dense, but I don't know exactly how they're saying that the fallout affected the local flora. But it does feel like it should be a little more dense, but that's not a huge complaint. But like there are these things that sort of replace ghouls. I think there are some ghouls there still, but they're called scorched. And like there's this whole mystery around the scorched and what they are and what happens to them. And like apparently it's some kind of disease that you can catch that turns you into like this mindless, quote, zombie.
Kind of nice to have a new thing, though.
No, I like that because, this is very early in the timeline of the Fallout.
It's supposed to be like right after.
Yeah, it's very soon. So, like I was on the way to like, basically you wake up and you're the last one in the vault, you leave, and you're supposed to go find the overseer, wherever she went.
There's always one of those, right?
Always. So I decide, all right, I'm just going to, see where I can find her, whatever. So go to her campsite, and it's like, I'm in Morgantown. So it's like, all right, I got to go to Morgantown. So head up the road, and then just this massive swarm. I'm going to guess probably 12 to 16 of these swarming zombie-like scorch just come after me.
Are they quick like the ghouls in Fallout 4?
They're very fast. They're very fast. And some of them shoot guns at you.
Now, that ain't fair.
It's a little unfair. And then some of them just try to, hand slap you.
Right.
And then some have, melee weapons. So that was pretty cool. But the most important part, I guess, is I did have a few other player interactions, with other live players.
Which is the point of this whole thing,
Which is the point, right? So, I was kind of nervous the first time I saw one. But the interesting thing is you cannot engage in combat with another player until you're at least level 5. So the first encounter I had with somebody was at level 4. I was level 4. They were level 7 or something.
That's sweet of them. What is it? It's just the reticle doesn't turn red when you aim at them?
I guess. I don't know. But you can't hurt each other unless you're at least both level 5.
I kind of think that's a neat idea.
No, it's a great idea. The problem, could be that, it took me an hour to get to level 5. So
because you're not killing anybody and getting XP, so how are you getting it?
Well, I'm getting it from other creatures, killing other creatures.
Oh, right.
There's lots of other things to try to harm you.
Like Scorch, for example.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
But the first encounter I had, it was just kind of like they just ran by me and ignored me. But then I went into some mines. West Virginia's rich with mining.
Sure.
So I went down some mines, found a bunch of these scorched, and then I was level 5 and they were level 9 and 8. and they just paired up with me, and like we just went through and killed a bunch of stuff, looted a bunch of stuff.
Very cool.
It was very like
I didn't have to make like a formal pact. You just kind of started walking together.
No, like there are some emotes that you can do.
Okay.
I tried that. I don't know that they worked because this is a beta.
Yeah,
so I'm not exactly sure.
You were giving them the poop emoji the whole time when they're like,
Maybe.
"What's wrong, boy?
Yeah,
You okay?"
I was just in there sliding my hole through my finger in my hand. I mean, a hole in my fingers. You know what I'm saying? Doing the whole sex thing.
Oh, okay.
You know that thing?
Yeah. You're holding it down there. I couldn't tell.
I was just like, it's fine.
All right.
I don't know what I was doing, but anyway, like I finally got their attention. Like jumped up and down a lot and flashed my flashlight at them, things like that. Went like through this mine, then like down some shafts, and then I ended up dying. And the thing is about this game is that when you die, it's a bit like, I don't know. I guess the most modern version of that would be like a Dark Souls. Like you lose your gear and it stays there until you can come back and get it.
Okay. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So I died, and my spawn point was a good 4-minute walk back. So like I died, spawn. I fully expected them not to be there, but they were just both sitting there waiting for me to get back to pick up my stuff. And then as soon as I got there and picked up my stuff, we all kept going. It's like,
they waited
for me.
How sweet.
It was very sweet.
Now, are you invited to any weddings now? Are you lifelong friends?
I feel like I should be. Like we went through some stuff together, and they were very nice. So like that's sort of reassuring, I guess. You know, that the first experiences that I had in this were extremely positive.
Now it seems like maybe it's mutually beneficial to stay together with a pack of people.
I think it is. You know,
that's why
especially because apparently those things travel in big swarms, right? So like having more than one of you there is probably a good idea.
So Bethesda's kind of saying you can do this on your own,
right?
But it's definitely beneficial to have a friend.
Yeah,
but you can turn on them at any minute, right? If they're level 7 and you're level 7, you could just shoot them in the back of the head.
Right, you could go full. Yeah.
And that's where it's going to get a little scary when you're playing it.
But I think, Brian and I were discussing this at lunch, and like he had also played the beta, and
Hokey Briz.
Hokey Briz. He'd also had some like similar encounters, but he said he was kind of on edge because he never knew. I was like, I feel like that's kind of part of the experience, though. I kind of like that.
That's kind of the whole renegade, the whole lifestyle.
That's like when you were playing PUBG or when you're playing DayZ or something. It's like you just don't know, and that's part of the experience.
Unless you're on headsets with people that you do know,
right? And there is proximity voice chat. So like if you've got a headset on and like someone's near you, they can call out to you like through their headset, and you'll hear it.
But you can't like party band together and.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think you can in the beta, at least.
Okay. That could be a good thing because you might want to break up stuff like that, and even the playing field for some solo players that are just in there. That's neat, though.
But I thought it was pretty cool.
I mean, it seemed like people had some complaints, and obviously having a bug that deletes the whole game is a valid one. But in terms of gameplay, it sounds like it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's definitely got some rough edges. Like there was one point, I think I was in Morgantown. I was just walking through like a boatyard or something, and like I got a notification that
a body of water near Morgantown?
There's a river.
Okay.
I think. I could be wrong about that.
I mean, I believe river. Yeah.
River seems right. So I was walking through this area and got a notification that this was a public event area. In other words, it's like, I don't know if you've played games with public events, but
no, I never play games when the servers are still up for that.
That's fair. But essentially it's just kind of like a live gaming area where everyone can kind of join in and do something. Destiny does this a lot where it's, hey, in 5 minutes there'll be an event here, so everybody shows up to like assist with the event, and then once it's over they kind of go their separate ways. So I came across something like that, but when I did, I mean the frame rate went to absolute shit. Like, I mean, seconds per frame kind of situation.
Yeesh.
And then like I finally worked my way out of it and everything smoothed out. So I think they've got a couple of weeks at this point to iron that out, I guess. Cool. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, fairly positive impression. Probably will get it. I do have it pre-ordered, obviously, because I'm playing the beta, but I'll probably get it.
Very cool. I'm glad to hear good things about it. And that's not something that was high on my list, really, because of that multiplayer aspect. It's not my thing.
Right.
But I'm happy to hear what you've told me.
Yeah, no, and I think if, given the idea that you could pair up with a friend and go exploring in the wasteland in West Virginia is kind of cool.
I still think it would be much lower on my list if it didn't hit so close to home with where it's based.
I agree. Like, if it was like the Northwest or, the Gulf Coast, I'd be like, meh.
Yeah. And only because it's not as familiar. Like, I'm really excited about this because this is my backyard.
Literally.
And that's really cool.
We've been to these places.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's pretty cool.
All right, very cool. And then you played the big one.
I did.
You're working on it. You're going to save a lot of your good juicy stuff for the big podcast.
I guess
sure.
I'll get. I figure like the juicy stuff that I have now is going to pale in comparison to the juicy stuff I have like 3 weeks from now.
Sure, yeah, I could see that.
Because yeah.
Now I'm kind of mad at these people, and we'll get to this a little bit later for asking you to be on the show,
right?
Because it's going to detract from the RPGs that you have a plenty of to finish that resolution. I'm a big resolution guy.
I know you are.
If you don't get them, I kind of have to kick you off the show.
That's fair.
I'm a little worried about
it. That's fair.
But you've put, 5 or 6 hours into it now?
In Red Dead? Yeah.
But
I think maybe 5.
Give us. What are some of the questions you had going in, and how have those been answered?
Well, it hurt a lot, going in. Frankie had picked it up. He had some early complaints about it feeling clunky, feeling a little slow, and I think that's right. Like, I think there are aspects of the game which are really slow.
But isn't that part of
that's
the
Rockstar.
Experience?
That's Rockstar.
I mean, it's not even Rockstar. Isn't that like being in the West?
Not specifically that. I'm just talking about like locomotion.
Oh.
Like it takes a minute to get going when you're walking. Like things are slow.
I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah. I do feel like that's a Rockstar thing because they seem to have this penchant for like momentum. Mm-hmm. Like they like that. What I did like about the game is it's very confident. Like it opens up. Normally in a game,
they're Rockstar.
Yeah, I know, but still,
the essence.
But still, it's like when you normally open a game, especially like your big banner tentpole release, they try to show off the prettiest parts of the game and the most epic vistas. Like this starts you at night in the snow. Like it's kind of dark and you really can't see much. And it's just like this is just happens to be where our story is going to pick up.
That's
so
it's a fun, like antithetical thing for them to do.
Yeah, and I loved that. I really liked how it was just like we're going to box you in.
It's like you will get to see the pretty, but you will earn it.
You will have to earn it. Exactly.
That's fun.
I liked that. So anyway, like things that I love about the game is everything's very deliberate and intentional. Like nothing is easy in the game. In terms of like when you shoot, you're working with for the most part, at least at first, you're working with a single action revolver, which means that you just don't pull the trigger. You have to cock and then pull the trigger. So like between shots, you have to cock. So it's like shoot, cock, unless you're firing from the hip and then you can fan the hammer and just go pow, 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 pow.
Lots of giggity in there.
Lots of giggity.
I'm gonna let you
no,
run
that's
with
fine.
it, but
That's
there's
fine.
plenty of
yeah.
there's plenty of good stuff in there.
Shoot, cock. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
But I think that's cool. And then like if you're skinning an animal, you know how like in Far Cry it's like one knife rake across the top and it's in your bag?
Yep.
Not this. It's full on you skin each animal.
Now, even in the original Red Dead, there was a bit of a scene for each one.
Right. This is longer.
And it's funny because I think that was a complaint from people. And then Rockstar has doubled down and said, no, you will wait.
Yeah. Because, it's pretty interesting because, like, it's done kind of like I am no butcher.
You're no skinnist?
I'm no skinnist. But it's done right, and like when you skin a bear or a boar, like you roll them around and try to figure out where to go in at, and then like
does it take longer depending on the size of the animal?
Definitely does.
Animal?
Like when you like when you kill a rabbit and you want to skin it, you just pick it up by its back feet, cut a little slit.
And you knew this going in.
I did know this going in. Cut a little slit across the back, across the top of the tail, stick your fingers in there and just rip.
Yeah, of course.
And that's how you do it in the game. So it's I like that. Like when you make coffee, you put it together and it brews, and then you drink it, and you drink it one sip at a time. You don't gulp the whole thing.
That's right, unless you're crazy.
But there's just lots of world building things that I like about that. My favorite thing about the game is that it's I don't know. There's a depth to the world that just feels so much more cared for.
Oh. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's fine. It's just kind of like, the whole joke when it's real is like, if you have a male horse, its balls will shrink in the cold weather.
We've been hearing that.
It's true.
And we've been promised it, and I've been wanting it.
Yeah, I've been wanting them shrunk balls.
I got to have it.
I just think it's interesting because it's like, that's one of those things that you do to tell people that you've done everything else, right?
I know. It's a Rockstar move.
It is. But I've got some funny stories. So I'll share some funny stories.
Please.
Because I don't know how to play this game very well yet. And I haven't quite figured out the controls. I think maybe I just need to adapt to them a little bit because when you want to speak to somebody, you pull the left trigger.
Okay.
And that focuses on them. And then you get some dialogue options.
You got to aim at them.
You've got to aim.
Okay.
Exactly. And sometimes I just get confused. So
I kind of see where this is going.
So one of the missions is to go on a hunt, and that kind of opens up hunting for the rest of the game. And I'm hunting this legendary bear, big old bear, 1,000-pound bear.
His name's Sam.
I don't know. He's got a wife, 2 kids, hung like a shovel. Anyway,
no, we're talking about a creature.
Yeah, it's a creature. Yeah. So we're trying to figure out. I'm tracking the thing, and finally kill it. And I'm like, I need to offload this legendary bear pelt. Which, by the way, fun fact is like when you kill something and skin it, depending on the size of the skin, is how you store it. I did not know this going in. Yeah. I mean, kind of. It makes sense. And that's why the world, I feel, is so cared for. Like, if you skin a rabbit or a fox, you can put the pelt in your satchel. If you skin a deer, you carry it under your arm. And then you actually have to physically put it on your horse before you can actually be freed up to do something else. If you skin a bear or a moose, you throw the whole thing over your shoulder and walk a bit slower until you get to your horse, and it's tied on your horse.
That level of detail then, huh?
Lots of detail. So anyway,
real quick, do you get encumbered a lot?
I've never been encumbered. You can definitely move slower if you're carrying bigger bear, like a bigger pelt.
Do you see the things you're picking up on you then? Like if you're skinning something and you can actually see the bear pelt that you just got, and it's not like tucked away in some imaginary backpack.
No, it is not tucked away. It's on your shoulder.
Right.
And it's bleeding onto your shoulder, and the blood showing up on your coat for a while after that.
So if you go somewhere and you get like, I don't even know what else you could pick up in the game, but
you can't pick up anything else.
Just skins and
You're holding that pelt until you put it on your horse.
Right. But I mean, like anything else that you pick up in the game that's not a pelt, do you still see yourself carrying it?
You put it in a bag.
Okay.
Yeah.
But does the bag have like an appropriate size limit?
Yes. Or there are slots. Okay. So yeah, there's a satchel limit.
Slots. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah. And also fun fact, like if you have a deer pelt, you kind of unfurl it and throw it across the back of your horse like a blanket, and then you can still put a bear pelt on top of that because it's bundled up like a big roll. And then if you want to put another deer pelt under it, you just kind of lift it up, like your character just kind of lifts it up and slides it up under there. It's really cool.
That's all kinds of cool.
All kinds of cool. Anyway, so I finally kill this legendary bear. I'm like, I need to sell this because I need money. I'm an outlaw. I got to have money to pay this bounty on my head because at this point I've fucked up so bad. I've got so many people after me.
Just from being a clumsy old cowboy.
Honestly, just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. That happens a lot. Like if you show up and save somebody from being killed by killing the guy that's trying to kill them, and a sheriff rides by, they will blame you for that murder, and you get a bounty on your head.
Well, geez, that's frustrating.
It's very frustrating, but also realistic. So anyway, I kill this bear. I gotta offload it. I finally find the trapper who buys all these. He's like in this little shed in the woods. I roll up, hop off, pull the trigger to focus on him, shoot him right in the face. Like this has been a half-hour ordeal. He's just like, "Hey, can I help you?" And I just go, boom. I'm like, fuck.
There's no going back.
No going back.
So what do you do?
Well, I didn't kill him, thankfully.
Oh, you just just a head wound.
Just a head wound.
Jeez Louise.
I did walk into a bar, try to order a drink, and kill the bartender, though.
Man, you're a madman.
So bad at it.
So what do you have to? You have to make sure your gun is holstered before you start talking to people?
Yeah, you have to set whatever you're holding down, because if you pull the other trigger, you've got a free hand and you're just guns out.
That's clumsy game design.
Oh, it's a little clumsy. But man, it's made me laugh. Like I was trying to interrogate this guy who was like he recognizes me. I did not want him to go tell anybody that he's seen me. So he rides off and I chase him, and like his horse bucks near this cliff and he falls off the horse and was like hanging on the edge of the cliff. And I walk up to him fully intending to like interrogate him, hit the wrong button and just smash his hands, and he falls off the cliff.
Twist.
Like, yeah, I'm just like, fuck. Yeah. I have done a couple of funny, like, there's some rival gangs, which I won't go into detail about, but I was trying to kill some deer just to get some pelts and meat from a camp, and they were in this kind of tall grass. I shoot my bow into there and stick one, but it doesn't kill it, so all the deer run off and then settle a little further down, like 60 yards down. So I crawl up there, and by the way, like, you can track animals using like this vision thing, but you also have to track the way the wind is blowing, so your scent isn't blowing toward what you're hunting, because they will smell you and run off.
Interesting.
Yeah. Once again, realistic.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, having smell vision is maybe not. But
it's not, but it's one of those things that like you have to be cognizant of the wind. And that's
right.
all
It's just giving you access to a sense that you already have.
Exactly.
Okay, I see.
It's a visual way of interpreting something you should already know.
Okay.
But anyway, so like I couldn't see these creatures very well. I saw some necks, some heads. So I just fire my arrow into there, and turns out there was a rival gang camp right behind these deer, and I kill one of them, and they all come after me.
And then Benny Hill music starts playing as you're sprinting through
and
the
there's deer
tumbleweeds.
running everywhere, and they're shooting at me. And
oh my goodness.
and my character's been kind of a dick, which I'm enjoying. Like
Bitsy Dick.
A bit clumsy, like just the unintentional outlaw. He's just bad at things.
Unintentional outlaw is like a really good premise for a western, like a comedy western.
Yeah, it's definitely about like a Don Knotts kind of thing. But I roll up to this guy's camp, and people don't like it when you ride up to their camp. They get territorial immediately.
I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I mean, you've shot a bartender.
I've shot all kinds of people. But I just roll up, and this guy's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I was like, I just hop off my horse and try to diffuse the situation, because you have like a diffuse option. And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm really just talking." And he's like, "You better go on now, get." I was like, "All right." So I turn and start walking away, and apparently I'm too slow. And he starts shooting at me. So I turn around and just kill him dead. Loot his camp, put him in his tent, then set his tent on fire.
Very nice.
Yeah, just burn everything.
He was being a little
he's being
hateful.
a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
He and his family deserved that murder.
Yeah. Well, it was just him.
Oh yeah.
He didn't have a family.
But they. Oh well, we don't know that.
Yeah. Not in my world. They didn't have a family. But anyway, so like, there's lots of little moments like that everyone's going to be sharing, and already are. It's sort of taken over Reddit and social media streaming, just because of all these little things that you can do in the game. Trying to keep my hat is just a constant struggle, because like if you get shot or punched or fall, it comes off and you can lose it. So you have to like go find it, or just go kill somebody and take their hat. Or
do you need a hat?
No, it's just you feel incomplete without a hat.
I understand that.
So yeah.
I mean, does it add like +1 armor if you have?
It does not.
Okay.
It just adds comedy.
I like that.
Yeah. But so far, I've been very unsuccessful in most everything I've tried.
But it sounds like you're having a fun time.
Yeah, I tried to rob a train by myself. That did not go well. I tried to kill and skin some alligators by myself. Also did not go well. Yeah, there's a swamp.
Huh.
Yeah.
The alligators in the West? For real?
Yeah.
Where?
In the South.
Okay. Arizona's got
Texas?
alligators? Texas. A big old Texas alligator?
Yeah.
You think? All right. I don't.
Houston, baby. They got alligators down there.
But is the game in Houston?
It's not. It's set in a fictional West.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I was in Mexico one time in a game
You
in
were?
Red Dead. Was that fictional? Mexico's
Countries
real, right?
aren't, but provinces are fictional.
All right. Well,
all right.
that was a lot of fun. I'm glad you told me all those stories. That's great.
Yeah.
That's
I'll have more.
Now I did actually order the game. You sent me a link for it to be cheap. I ordered it.
Hopefully that pans out.
What does that mean?
It means I don't know if that was legit or not.
Yeah,
it was
I got
on
a
eBay.
Receipt.
Okay, you have a receipt.
Did you hear me pronounce that being receipt?
I got a receipt.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
but it should be fine.
I should be getting it soon, so I will be playing it immediately after Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to jump to God of War, but I don't think I can wait any longer. I need to get Red Dead.
Yeah.
I need to play it a little bit. I do want to play God. I will play it.
Yeah, you'll play it.
I'm not like you. I will play it. I will actually play and beat the games I say.
Shush.
All right. So let's move into the discuss.
Discuss.
I want to start off real quick, and I know we probably went longer than I thought we were
That's
going to.
fine. We haven't. It's late. Who cares?
It's late. Who cares? The discuss. Well, first, it's about that time of year where we touch back on those resolutions. We take resolutions very serious. Now, I know a lot of y'all probably already canceled your gym membership. You're back on meat. You're back on the cigarettes because you didn't hold on to your resolutions.
That's
but
right.
Here at Polykill, we embrace the resolutions.
We embrace it.
We're trying to be better people and better gamers, better podcasters. And for me, I had one that was like, I want to beat 5 fighting games. I wasn't, before this year. Not a big fighting game guy. Was really bad at them. Didn't really know a lot about them. You know what? I'll say, having played 5, still don't. Still bad.
Still bad.
Still don't know much about them. Still,
right.
But whatever.
Still a button spammer.
I did get some credits on Super Street Fighter 2 earlier in the year, Kasumi Ninja, Samurai Showdown, Injustice Gods Among Us, and Fatal Fury just recently.
Well, there you go.
I have completed that one. I said I'd beat 5 fighting games. Did do that indeed. And beat all 5 on different platforms. So let me point that out. How I went that extra mile, got that bonus point. The other thing I said I would do, and it's kind of weird to me that I didn't have any of these videos before this year, I said I would make 5 videos for the channel about my collection.
Okay.
I ended up making 6 pickup videos, an unboxing video, and 5 most valuable NES games video.
Yeah.
All that was this year. That's kind of crazy to me that I did all
crazy.
that in 1 year. But those were a lot of fun. A lot of cool things happened there. Did some blows, got some manuals, did all that stuff. So did that one. Now the one that I'm behind on, and that I don't think I'll get.
Oh shit!
Is beat a game on each the Saturn, Sega CD, the TurboGrafx 16, the Atari Jaguar, and the Sega Master System.
Well, that's a lot.
I know it was 5 of my obscure. It's no different than beating any 5 games. Just doing it on these what I'm considering obscure platforms, to me at least. And like I said, Kasumi Ninja applied to both. It was a Jaguar game. I did beat that. I don't know that I'm going to get this. One reason is because I have actually tried to beat some games on the Master System that I own.
Yeah.
I cannot do it.
Not going well.
They're steep. There are a lot of arcade ports. They're very difficult. Now, if I had the right games, maybe. Now, I did beat Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap, which is a port of one. You can maybe reach and apply that. But I will say, I'm not too disappointed if I don't, because for some of these consoles, even though I didn't beat the games, the whole point was to kind of exercise the catalog I had, play the games I had.
Yeah.
And I was able to do that. Even if I fall short, I still did the thing I wanted to do, which was play a lot of stuff. So I'm going to still try to get a couple of the other ones, but it's not looking good here.
Let's be clear, though. I mean, not to bring further shame to your incompletion here, but isn't this a rollover from the year previous?
I don't remember.
I think it is.
I will plead the 5th.
I think it is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th. Plead the 5th.
No, that's cool. I have.
You're not going to beat me down because you know you're about to get beat down.
Well, maybe. So that's all yours. So, I have completed 2 of my 3.
I know.
So the big one is the 2 that I've completed is buy no games, aside from the pre-orders that I had in place for 6 months. I did that.
You did do that.
Did that well. The other is make 5 or more videos for the channel. I have 5 exactly.
Is it exactly 5?
Exactly 5.
Okay.
1 in the works. So that.
So there will be 5.
There will be 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize you'd done 5.
Yeah, baby.
Cool. Very cool.
And the last one, which is still incomplete, is finish at least one of the big RPGs. Now, the big RPGs that I consider to be part of that group are things like Witcher, Fallout 4, Persona, etc. Like games that I had in existence on my backlog at the time of making the resolution, which is why I would not count something like Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Right.
Even though I could probably stretch it and say, it was on my backlog. And
You're not going to beat that. You're not going to beat it.
I'm not going to beat it.
Don't even worry about it.
I don't have 90 more hours.
Yeah. Or Octopath. You won't even want to count that one.
Right. I would not.
Man. Yeah. All right.
So, my goal here is to just knock out one of those in the next 2 months.
Fallout
if I could
4
do that,
Witcher.
I'll beat you. Yeah.
You would.
Yeah.
Yeah,
probably.
you would.
Yeah. Which means I win, and I can kick you off the podcast.
You could. If you wanted to, you could.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Wouldn't dream of it.
All right. Well, so what do you think the chances are? See, I said my chances are pretty low.
Yeah.
And I admit that.
Okay.
And I feel personally okay. I'm a little sad that I will come up short.
Yeah.
But I'm personally okay with it because I did try it. What do you think your chances are, and how would you feel if you really didn't get that big one?
I'd be a little sad. I think they're actually moderately high because around December 13th is when things with school basically cease. Mm-hmm. And then
work also really
work
slows
will
down.
also slow down considerably. I think I could knock out one of those in that 2-week span before the end of the year. I think that's going to be my bread and butter to actually get in there and finish that.
Very cool.
So I think I'll do it.
Yeah, I think my chances are pretty low because exactly at that time I signed myself up for a baby.
You did.
So I don't know that I'll have any time to get around to a Sega CD game.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know exactly what you think you're going to do with this baby, but
I'm going to try to raise it. And my goal is to keep it alive for a while.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, but yeah, okay. So there's our resolution. So we are, we're sticking to them. I know nobody gives a shit, but we're sticking to them. And we're trying our best, and that's what's important.
Yeah,
it's something to strive toward, and it's important to really actually do it. If you're going to say it, do it. All right, so the one big thing, because we couldn't really think of a discussion, once again, we were sick, we were traveling, we didn't really have a discussion planned, there's really nothing topical happening other than some games dropping, so we decided listener question time.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
We like that, yeah.
To have our friends send us some fun questions to harp on. And so we'll go ahead and get started here. Josh Leslie at Frantic Society says, what is your favorite snack food?
This is a great question.
Take it away, Jake. What is your favorite snack food?
I do like a variety of snack foods. Honestly, I'm going to go ahead and go with a very simple answer because I think it. I don't know. I think it is my favorite, but B, I think it also doesn't feel like I'm trying to have a witty answer, and that is just plain Ritz crackers.
Plain old Ritz crackers?
Plain old Ritz crackers. I could eat a whole box of those in one sitting.
It's the most whitest answer I have
It's
ever
extremely
heard.
white. Extreme. I actually think saltines might be whiter.
Yeah, but it's still like, wow,
No,
crackers. Plain old crackers.
Just plain old crackers, man. Like they're accessible. They're cheap. They're good by themselves. They're good
What do
with
you mean
other
they're accessible?
things.
There's a lot of food that's you buy them the same way you'd buy a lot of other better food.
They're easy to eat. Like you just have a sleeve of them, and you just go down the sleeve, and then
You just crack open the end, stick right in the end of your mouth, and just punch the back of it.
That's basically it.
Just get a whole sleeve of Ritz right
It's
in the
like
old
an
gullet.
EpiPen of cracker
Yeah.
in your throat.
So you like that? Now do you like anything with like a peanut butter or
I mean, I'm not crazy about peanut
chive
butter.
spread? Is that a thing?
Probably. Cream cheese and chive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like cheese. Don't get me wrong, I'm a cheese man. But I just, when it comes to like the perfect snack food, I think Ritz is a delicious edible magic carpet, but can also fly other things right around to you.
If you have friends over, you got like a bowl of Ritz hanging out for
I mean,
everybody
maybe.
to munch on a little bit.
Yeah,
All right.
I love them.
Oh, well, you do, and that's good. That was the question. What is your favorite snack food?
Yeah.
Mine. It's not too different, but it's a little more
Exotic?
yeah, and that would be a little chips and dip.
Wow.
You know,
Oh, wow.
it'd be like having a cracker, but put something on it.
Right.
I like the contrast of a salty thing and like something that's been refrigerated, like a dip, like a sour
No, don't
cream,
get me wrong. That's delicious.
like a hummus,
Ooh, a mousse.
a hummus, or a salsa.
Yeah.
I like all that. And in Britain they call it crisps.
Right.
So crisps and a dip.
Crisp and dip.
I don't. Did they say, what do they call dip? They
Boy,
gotta
I
call
don't
dip
know.
something
That's
stupid.
gotta
I
be
bet.
something weird.
A marmalade. I don't know. Probably not. Crisps and tea.
Yeah.
But no, I do. I like any dip. Any dip.
I'm a dip man.
Give me a queso. Give me a mild sauce.
Give me a
hot sauce.
7-layer.
Give me a 7-layer. Give me that guac. I mean anything. I'll dip.
Give me that guac.
And it doesn't. It's not the chips for me.
Mm-hmm,
I would dip old foreskin in any of that. Like, I just want. I'm a condiments guy. I'm a dips guy.
I got you.
Just give me the dip.
Right.
And
you
it's
just want a way to get it in you.
I know, and it's an excuse not to like just take the spoon to the dip.
I don't think you need an excuse, man. Just do you.
That's true. I should just do me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right. Musty Hobbit says,
Yeah.
let's say, and you alluded to this one earlier.
I did kind of, yeah.
Let's say you could eradicate your backlog. Now, being free from the obligation that was your old backlog, and aside from the game you're currently playing, Jake, any
Right.
game you're currently playing is now off.
Yes.
Which is a really good wrinkle in this.
It is.
What's the first game that you put on your new blank backlog slate and why?
Okay. Why don't you go first? Because I feel like you've thought about
damn.
this a little more than me.
I didn't. That's why I pointed at you emphatically as I was reading it.
Well, okay. I'll segue by this while trying to think of something else, or trying to think of a good answer. I actually have considered, and this may be an early reveal for my New Year's resolution, but I've thought about just completely wiping my backlog and just building it a little bit more realistically than I have it currently right now. I've thought about
I've actually
that.
thought the same thing. And what's stopping us?
Yeah, nothing. I mean,
No one
who
gives a
gives
shit.
No one gives a shit. No one's like checking it every day to see how I'm doing.
You're not.
I'm certainly not. You're not.
No.
You're not checking mine. You're
No.
probably checking yours.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because you're kind of like that. But I think what I would say is I would... The methodology that I would use would be like I would pick what I actually really am in the mood to play rather than something that I feel like I should play, because I feel like a lot of stuff on my backlog or a lot of things that I aspire to play are things that I feel kind of embarrassed or like left out that I haven't played. Now I kind of want to force myself into those experiences so I can, have some context on conversations about these games or whatever, rather than just being like, I want to play this game, rather,
Yeah.
you feel that.
I'm
right?
with you. Yeah.
But I really think the first one that I would put on there, and this is a game that I'm probably going to buy soon, and that is the it's a pair of games, but the Castlevania Symphony of the Night Rondo of Blood double pack that just dropped on PS4. I really just am in the mood to play one of those Castlevania games. So like at the moment, that's my answer. Would be Symphony of the Night.
Man, I got to say, 99 times out of 100, I'm not guessing that game for you.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true.
So that's really cool. And I love both of those games. So I'm excited, once you do play them, if we do just eradicate, maybe nuke our backlogs for the new year or something like
let's
that.
Fallout
For fun.
76 them.
Let's do it. And yeah, I That's a good answer. For me, I think my answer is a little more, it certainly harkens on my guilt as a collector. And if I were to nuke the backlog, I think I would start with Earthbound. It's a game I put a little money into getting.
Okay.
And I tried to, here in the last year, I knew what was coming. I know that, and it's not like, it's not like I see like the end of my fun, but certainly my priorities will shift immediately. Sure. I really wanted to get Earthbound. I was like, this will be a good one for the collection. It's sort of, in terms of the more expensive ones for the SNES library, it's definitely one that's I want to play and is expensive. Let's go ahead and get that. I would bump that up the list. Right now, I'm kind of hanging on because it's on the shelf. I'm not in a hurry. I'm kind of waiting for the right mood to hit. But like, if I were to wipe it, I'd be like, that's the one that I really need to beat. Put a little money down on it. It's a huge cult following,
right?
Especially.
Massive.
And I want to get in on that conversation. I want to know what's up with that game.
There you go.
Why is it so important?
Yeah,
I have no idea. So that's one. That's one for me.
Cool.
All right. This next one cracked me up hard.
I do like it
because the premise was, hey man, this next podcast is going to be a day late because of all these circumstances, and we don't really have time to come up with like an actual discuss. Shoot us your questions, and Deej responded with, I know reply was not one of the options, but what in the fuck? I don't know why it's so funny to me. It's just
that's good.
And actually, I screenshotted this GIF in the perfect moment.
Yeah, it's good.
So good.
So savage.
So, Jake, I wanted to ask you, what in the fuck?
Well, I've been trying to figure that out for a while. I think it's one of those life's big questions, right?
Yeah.
Like, where do we come from? What's our purpose here? Are we alone in the universe? And also, what in the fuck?
What in the fuck? I'm with you there. Now, when I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, what in the fuck? I couldn't come up with an answer really immediately. I had to sleep on it for a couple of days.
Right.
And I don't know that I ever came up with an answer, but I think the thing that is the fuck is look in the mirror.
Sure.
You are the fuck.
Oh.
All right?
Be the fuck.
Be the fuck you want to be. Don't just let the fuck pass you by.
Don't let it pass you the fuck by.
Don't.
Yeah,
Don't do it. And that's what in the fuck,
Sure.
I hope that was satisfactory.
Yeah, we did what we could with that.
Okay.
We liked it.
Briz, our friend Briz at Hokey Briz.
Hokey Briz.
Now, this one is more specific to me.
It is you. Yeah,
so I'll go ahead and take it here. Trav, he says, you're expecting a baby soon. Oh my God, really? Ah! No, I knew that. I did know that.
You knew that.
If it were 2011, would you have considered naming your daughter Dovahkiin to win free Bethesda games for life? Because remember, that was the thing.
I do remember this.
He says, I would have, but my wife shut that down. My son was born 15 days too late anyway. So he's asking me, if in 2011, let's say they had the new thing now, and let's say Skyrim's coming out on the due date.
Right.
Would I have named my daughter Dovahkiin instead of what we do plan to name her?
Right.
I would have tried like hell. Free Bethesda games for life. I'm saving.
Cool name, cool story.
Yeah, I'm saving easily $60 a year at the rate they release games. Maybe 120 if they get maybe a Dishonored 2 or 3 in there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's worth it. To name her something.
You can give her a normal middle name that she can use if she wants.
I know, Dovahkiin Raquel. I don't know.
No, that's good.
Is it?
Yeah.
It sounds like the most.
She'd be tenacious.
It sounds like the most medieval stripper.
Sure.
But and you don't want to name your daughter that.
No.
But no, I certainly would have tried, knowing that my wife would never have let her.
You would have pitched it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I've been like, how about some free games forever? And she would have been like, how about not? Because she's very smart, well-adjusted, and intelligent, and I'm just in it for the games. But yeah, I truthfully, probably not. Yeah. It's a ridiculous name.
Right.
For a well, I'm not going to say for a girl, because you can be named whatever you want. That's fine. Your names are okay. It's just it's too sharp of a name, Dovahkiin. I don't know if I could be mad and say that without
laughing,
flubbing it up.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe call her Dova for short. Maybe
Dova. I was going to say Dova's nice.
It's really not bad.
It's very soft.
Been to Dover, Delaware. Sounds like you're from Boston.
Yeah.
Go to Dover.
Go to Dover. They got a big Air Force there.
Yeah, big old Air Force there in Dover. Now I sound like a Boston guy with a mild impediment. That's okay. I'm not really good at accents. So I would say yes, fictionally, no, probably.
Fair enough.
All right. Sunset, Viper Strike, because there's pictures of sunset, I guess?
Sure.
Yeah, wait. Our friend Frankie at Viper Strike, he says, top 3 favorite beers And how do I get my gaming groove back? I haven't beaten anything in a month now and don't know who I am
this
anymore.
is sad.
Now, this kind of harkens back to the what in the fuck.
It does.
Frank, you got to look in the mirror. Who are you? Are you just some guy with a sunset for his fucking avatar on Twitter? Who are you? What are you, a 65-year-old woman?
Yeah.
No, you're
gonna
not.
Start retweeting inspirational quotes?
Yeah. What are you doing? Take that off, first of all.
Yeah.
Put something on there. Put a comic book character on there. Do something.
Yeah.
Do you, girl. And get back into those games.
Yeah, well, here's my advice. When I want to start
You
beating
actually have
games,
advice. I was just yelling.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's good.
My advice for getting back into the groove of beating games is just don't think about it so much. Just play a game that you want to know. Just play a game that has a story that you want to know the ending of, or play a game that has some catharsis, like maybe some Dead Cells or some Hollow Knight or something like that, where you will feel good about beating it. And it's got to get your groove back that way rather than trying to force yourself to beat games. Just play what you're attracted to right now, and I think it'll come back. Yeah,
it's weird, and this is turning into like a serious tangent on my side.
Oh, here we go.
All of a sudden,
we also have to get to the beers. Don't get too serious.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah.
But no, what are we at? 2 hours?
Hour and a half.
Okay. This is gonna be a longer episode, everybody.
It's an hour 15.
Hour 15. We're okay then.
We're okay.
So it always kind of works out for me, and I don't plan this because I don't plan anything. My life is very disorganized. Have you seen my office?
I've been near it.
You can't get in it.
Yeah.
My life is always total disarray. I'm very organized in some aspects. Like I can organize my thoughts, but like my life is in very much a disarray. But somehow it always works out that I have a perfect rotation of games to where I'm always constantly beating games.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it works out. Now I do play some big ones.
Yeah, occasionally, yeah. You're getting in there.
And that doesn't really slow me down.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I think I have a constant need for a short game,
right,
and a middle game, and a big game, always.
But you have a great snack rotation, is what I would consider it.
Chips and dip.
Right, yeah. Well, like a lot of people, they get up, they eat breakfast, then they eat lunch, then they have an afternoon snack, and then they eat dinner.
You have an afternoon snack? I don't even forget that. I don't fit that.
I don't. I'm just saying some people do.
Okay.
And then they have a small snack before they go to bed, and they get up and do the same thing tomorrow. And then there's people like me who get up and do not eat breakfast, eat an early lunch, and then an extremely late dinner. That's undisciplined and probably bad for my health. The people that are eating, keeping their metabolism going throughout the day by eating at regular intervals in certain amounts and keeping some rhythm to it are the ones who probably pay off the best. And I feel like that's what you have with gaming, is you have a nice mealtime planning with your games, whereas I am just like, I'm impulse buying Twinkies off the shelf and simultaneously eating the crumbs out of my car seat.
Well, I mean, I'm with you there. I do think I don't have those exact eating habits, unfortunately.
No, but for gaming,
shotgun a fistful of shredded cheese at midnight.
Hell yeah!
I'll just do that and find creative ways to get it in my mouth. I find
there's multiple approaches, right?
I find that digging it out of the bag and putting it in my lip like chaw, it gets it everywhere.
It does.
And then the cat's all into me.
But there's a wrist rotation. You tilt your head back, and then you take the flange of cheese that has fallen toward your palm.
Okay.
And put it in first.
You sort of tuck that,
and then just push it down in. Yeah, like that.
Okay, like you're ducking a basketball.
Yeah,
you gotta force it in. You're not just laying it up there. You gotta really push it in.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, like you're packing a suitcase.
Now I've ducked a basketball before. Clearly, I know how it works.
Yeah, you've been there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, I just beat games that. Speaking of but yeah, Frank, I think you get the idea. So three favorite beers.
This is tough a little bit.
Now, I will say my favorite beer is a very passé, very normal, very regular beer.
Okay.
It's a local brewery to here. It's called Devil's Backbone. They make a regular old Vienna lager.
Right.
It's just called Vienna lager.
Right. It's tasty though.
It's like calling a Bud Light a shitty beer. It's like calling it like it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And I do enjoy that one. It's
like Chrysler making a car that's called Sedan.
It's a reliable beer. Now, I don't get too fancy with beer, believe it or not. Like I try a lot of beers.
Sure.
The thing is, I never remember the ones I've tried.
Right. Yeah, you have to track that, and then you feel like a total tool.
I know. I know, right? And then you're tweeting about it, like,
right.
I tried this one. It has like hints of orange peel and like a note. I feel like I tasted like a rye seed. Like I don't even know if that's a thing.
A rice seed?
A rye seed?
Oh, right. That's caraway. But yeah.
Oh, look at you. Oh, I tasted notes of caraway. Oh, look at there. So yeah, like I'm not great, but I will say in general,
yeah,
I like a lager like that, like a Vienna lager.
Vienna lager, okay. What's your number two?
I do like pumpkin beer.
Boy, I'm with you.
And what's that one? The Pumpkin.
Pumpkin?
Oh,
yeah,
I love that.
That's
Pumpkin.
a solid choice.
I get excited every year for that beer. And I guess I don't really know for a third. I mean, those are really strong. I like a Smittix. That's just a regular old kind of barroom beer. It's reliable. I like that. I just like a lot of beer that's not. I like IPAs. I do. I'll go outside the box.
You do like the IPA.
But if I have a crutch, I'm picking like just regular shit.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's me.
I'm with you.
Where are you at?
Well, I for a while I was really kind of like not a hobbyist about beer, but I kind of paid more attention than I do now.
Caraway. You said that word.
Well, that's a food thing. That's not a beer thing. It's like
whatever.
Anyway, so like I think probably my all-time favorite beer is from Stone Brewing Company. It's called Chocovesa. And it is a stout, I believe. It may be a porter. I'm honestly not sure. That shows you how much I've paid attention lately. But anyway, it is a spicy dark beer that has chocolate, coffee, cinnamon, nutmeg, and habanero in it. And it is a very warming beer, obviously. But like all the flavors work together, and like this. I'm sounding like a nerd just talking about it, but they all work together really well, and you can taste each one as you drink it. It's not like it all just turns into like this gobbledygook that just feels nasty going down. It's like you can pick it up all and pick all of it up.
You can pick it up all. You can.
I'm tired and sick. Well, formerly sick. But anyway, that's probably my favorite beer. It's really hard to get, especially out here because it's from California. But like the Cellar 6-pack store over there in Beeburg, they get it like one shipment in a year and it's gone like that. But probably the best beer I've ever had. I really like the Highland Brewers or Highland Brewing oatmeal porter.
You like that oatmeal? You do.
I love the oatmeal port.
Yeah.
I'm a dark beer guy, in case you guys haven't noticed that. And
why would they notice?
Because both beers.
One.
Two.
Oh, okay.
Two. But lastly, and this is gonna be a bit of a wild card here, but and it's mainly just because of the memories around it, is Bud Light. I have.
That's hilarious that would be.
It's
for sport.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing. It's just like I have so many good memories drinking Bud Light that it just, when I drink Bud Light, even when I'm not doing something specifically fun, I feel good because I only do this when I'm having fun. It's like whether it's tailgating or video game parties or just parties with friends, it's just like I like this taste because it reminds me of good times.
Hopefully Frankie wasn't going to take our list as suggestions to try.
He should try my two for sure.
Your two. Okay,
yeah.
You're not even going to count that third one.
I'm sure he's had the third one.
I'm sure he's like, I Bud Light, you say. I wonder what the mouthfeel of a Bud Light is. The 4.5% mouthfeel. All right. Well, hopefully some of that answer was...
that was all serious on my part.
Now look who's back here.
What's back?
Look who's back.
Who's back?
All right. We got a question from
Diego.
What game do you think Justin Bieber plays when he laments how he let Selena Gomez get away? I'm pretty sure it's Fortnite, but maybe he's a retro gamer and he snuggles up with Felix the cat?
Okay. So my answer for this is very simple and very straightforward. It's Parappa the Rapper. That's what he plays.
Why is that?
Because he looks like him.
You think he looks like Parappa?
Yeah.
The Rappa?
He does.
Because of the beanie?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking he probably plays... This is a good question. When he laments how he let Selena Gomez get away.
Are you going to go with a very obvious answer here and say Getaway? The Getaway on PS2?
I wish that I had.
I almost did. Wow.
I don't know. I think he DDR maybe just sobbing,
just dance it out,
just sobbing while he's got snot going down his shirt and he's just twisting. He's got his hands on the bars and he's just, just going at it. Oh yeah,
just half committing to each step.
Oh, and just hard snot crying, bubbles coming out of his face.
Boy, that's good.
Let her get away, but he's dancing it off. He's letting the sweat just let it go.
Yeah, it's catharsis.
There we go. Weird question, but
I like it.
Maybe he does snuggle up with Felix the cat, though. I don't know.
Who knows?
All right. Up next, Northrop Grundle. Question for the next episode: if you could have a band do a soundtrack for a game, what band and what franchise would it be? Now,
Boy,
Jake,
howdy.
That's a good question for a guy like you.
That is the truth. And to be fair, I'm not very prepared.
You're not prepared?
Not prepared because this is big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm thinking, for me,
yeah,
this is going to be a very basic answer. This is going to be like me saying, I don't know, like my favorite food's pizza. Okay, it's just going to be. It's not going to be a deep dive here because, like I said, we're on the spot, right?
Right.
I'm thinking. I like Resident Evil, and I think Resident Evil's music's good.
Right. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it.
But if you could license some music, I'm thinking some gritty ass industrial fucking 9 Inch Nails.
Okay.
Would give that some ambiance. Give that some. I don't know. I don't want to say it like that. Yeah, give it some germs. I don't know. Is that right? Is that?
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know. Right? It makes it gives it something.
Gives it some ugh.
Gives it. That's perfect. That's what I'm talking about. Give it some ugh. It needs that. It needs that.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. That's my choice.
Okay.
Did that help? Did that give you enough time?
Not really, but that's fine. Like I'm going to listen back to this answer later, or probably skip it and regret having listened to it, or we'll skip it and never think about this again because there's so many bands and there's so many obviously styles, and I like so much music. But what I can't escape is one pairing that I think would be pretty great, and that is it formerly a solo act, but is now a band, and that's Tycho, Tycho. They do like electronic music. It's kind of like ambient. It's not ambient, but like I don't know. It's not terribly
Can you do it with your mouth?
No.
Okay.
But it's great music. It's great for like studying or kind of like background music, but it's actually really great if you pay attention to it as well. I would love for them to do music for a like a flower style or flow style game from like that game company where it's like more about presence and atmosphere than it is about like dynamics. And I think they would be perfect for that. So that's my answer is Tycho doing puzzle adventure.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's a good answer. Because a puzzle adventure game, it needs the music.
Right.
That helps it.
Because I feel like there's a lot of a lot of ways it could have gone with it, but I think that makes a lot of sense to my brain. So
very good.
Yeah.
Well, here's our last question.
Okay.
It's from Cole McAllister, who I will say made the best van.
Oh, that van is awesome.
Oh my god. And is it Forza
Horizon 4.
Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah.
That van, Jake, I would get in that van.
Yeah.
I would rip out the upholstery, put in some sound panels.
Yeah.
And we would travel the United States of A.
Yeah.
As F.
There you go.
In that van.
I would do
a podcast to middle school. just jumping and just spreading the gospel that is Polykill in that van.
Yeah.
I mean, roadies.
Boy, howdy.
Probably no women, but
probably no women.
Probably. I mean, it is a panel van,
right?
That says
weird.
"kill" on the side of it.
It does.
But we'll have fun.
We'll have so much fun.
God, I love that van so much. Gosh, I'm still thinking about it. All right, so Cole says, though there is still time left in the year to make mistakes, what is your biggest regret of 2018 so far? Mine, which I will be crucified for, is that during a busy time in my life, I bought and sold a Switch within weeks because I didn't have time. I now cannot reconvince myself to make this purchase, even though I miss it while listening to Polykill. Hashtag PK Answers.
Boy.
Now, I will say, it's
tragic.
That is tragic.
I'm not going to crucify him for it. That's tragic.
It's
sad.
Tragic. I mean, we've all been there. We've all
had to make those
didn't
choices.
Have time. Maybe the culture where he's at. Of course, we're big Switch guys, but maybe he wasn't around a lot of big Switch guys. He didn't hear all the good things and wasn't engrossed. It kind of helps to have a buddy into something with you. So, I'm not going to beat him up for that.
No.
We have a friend that will buy something and return it in the same month constantly.
Yeah.
And he doesn't seem to regret anything.
No, he's good with it.
And I think that sucks.
I wouldn't do it, but more power to him, I guess.
But more power to him. So it's not unprecedented. It's fine. I will say, if you can't reconvince yourself, let me convince you to maybe go back out, and if you got the money,
Switch.
Get that
Black
Switch.
Friday. Come on, man.
Black Friday.
That'll be a deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you might not get it like below $2.99, but you'll get some games with it or something.
Yeah, plenty of games. It's just as an adult, I find the Switch to be a very great console, and I know I'm going to appreciate it more.
You will,
but I mean, damn, it's just so good.
It's so good.
Talking about our personal regrets, Jake, do you have one cooked up?
I don't, because I'm trying to figure out how we're going to contain this.
Is yours not beating any games ever?
Well, I've beaten more games this year than
more than one regret.
last year.
Well, that's true.
so that's progress.
That is. I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. I got bust your balls a little bit.
That's
but
fine.
I don't know, man. A gaming regret?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think we should get super personal here and be like, well, I wish it wouldn't
early March, I laid my wife. No. No. Well, I don't know. I'm sure there are plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple I can think of right now. It's just one that I didn't. There's a couple of games that are out now that I'm not playing, and I kind of wish I was. But the allure of Red Dead 2 pulled me, which is Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I really want to play both of those, but I'm just not going to have time to play them this year. It's just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. What a good problem to have, though.
It's a great problem.
What a great year.
It's been a good year. I don't know if it's been a great year, but
really?
I feel like the peaks are higher, but I feel like the overall line isn't as steady.
I feel like the AAA games have just
been big hits. Don't get me wrong.
Can I say titties? I think it's been a titty year for AAA.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I agree.
Yeah, a banner titty year, a big banner with titties on it year. But I've been really pleased. And, and that's me. I consider myself a power casual. I'm not like in the dirt on games. I'm not looking at all the indie stuff. I'm not. I don't have time, and I don't really have the interest, to be quite honest. My heart's in retro, and then a lot of the new stuff.
Sure.
It's been a great year. Yeah. I mean, I played a lot of more than usual. I played new games, I think maybe some of my regrets, maybe a big regret, is just not coming around on just buying my own PS4. That might be one.
Okay.
I feel like I maybe could have got God of War down. There was a lull there where I was kind of waiting on Xbox to do something.
Right.
And I kind of squandered some time there. There's a lot of games on that system that I have not played. There are a lot of decisions I made in Detroit I regret.
Oh.
Kind of influenced my story negatively. I mean, really, I guess I don't really have a regret per se, but I just wish I had more time.
Yeah.
I really do.
No, I'm with you on that. It's just, trying to keep up with this hobby and kind of having the, the check of having this podcast. It does make me pay attention to how little time I have.
It becomes evident when it rolls up on you, and I'm like, Jake, did you beat any games?
And I'm like, nah. I think that's probably it. For me, it's just like, obviously, I don't want my life to revolve around video games in this podcast.
Why the fuck not?
Well, now I'm trying to educate and get a job and all that. Not get a job, but, work my job. So, I think there's just, it's tough. It's tough trying to have a hobby like this.
It really is. But what a fun hobby to have.
I love it. I really do. I wouldn't miss it.
Well, hopefully that was an answer.
Yeah.
I think it was.
I really answer-ish.
Can't think of anything that I truly regret, which is maybe a good thing. I've beaten a lot of games. I guess I regret maybe not beating some of those games I said I would beat there for the resolutions.
Right. I guess I regret not beating Persona.
Oh, yeah. That's not going to happen, is it?
It's not going to happen. There's no way in hell.
I mean, I'm even thinking that, and I'm 100 hours into that game.
Yeah, I know.
So, I mean, yeah. Maybe that is my big regret. It's not beating that game. Shit, now I feel bad. I wasn't even thinking about it. I blocked that out. That was like a trauma.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe I will, but I doubt it. But so anyway, I think that does it for the episode. Good episode.
Yeah.
We have a fun guest next week.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Episode. No, next week.
I'm sorry.
Don't confuse the people.
Next episode. I always say week.
You do.
This is not a weekly podcast. But next episode, we will have a really good guest on. Can't wait for that. And that's been all for episode 79 of the Polykill podcast. I am Travis. You can find me on Twitter at TravPlaysGames.
I am Jake, and you can find me at the McAxel on the Twitter and the Instagram.
And together, we are at Polykill, and we'll check you next time. Check you? I don't know. We'll see you next time.
Peace out.